The most important thing, obviously, regarding anything you do in your life is your mindset. We're going to learn something about ourselves. We're going to learn something about how you view the world. How you view the world absolutely and utterly shapes how you react to the world, how you act in the world, how people view you. It's all down to how you view things. There's very few things in this life we actually have any control over. I've lived an extreme life, more extreme than most. I've been a multimillionaire. I've been a nobody. I've been famous. I've been a world level athlete. I've started from nothing with a point where I had to run to the gym because I didn't even have a car to get there. I've done it all. So I've lived a very extreme life, and this is where these lessons come from. I told everyone I'm going to be world champion. Years before I even had a British title, before I even had an English title, I just started fighting. I was like, oh, I'm the next world champion, yeah. And I just started saying it, but I said it with genuine conviction. I knew I would be the best.
Good shot there from Tate. He did say the second round, and what a crunching shot.
You have to understand that this world, everyone constantly tells you, do not be arrogant, do not have an ego. People will constantly tell you to not talk in a way which is full of conviction. People do not like you to be arrogant and have an ego. This is the worst thing ever. Let me tell you a fact, number one facet of a G mindset. Your life is never going to be worse if you walk through the world believing you are the fucking man. You wake up, you look in the mirror and go, I'm the fucking man. I am the man. There's no one on this planet who can do shit I couldn't do if I put my mind to it. I don't give a fuck how good you are at piano. If I decide to play piano, I would be better than you at piano. And I believe that. I don't just say these things, I fucking believe them. And when you go through life believing you really, really are the man, you're gonna lose a few loser friends. Who cares? What you are gonna gain is other people on the same path. You're gonna gain other people who think, yeah, well, I'm the fucking man too. This guy's the man, let's make some money. That's what's gonna happen. You need to start believing you are the fucking man. Even if you're not the man yet, even before I was world champion, I knew I was gonna be the man. So I don't give a fuck. And I was happy to say that to anybody. When people called me arrogant and stupid and deluded, I just sit there, look at them and say, yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna be the man. G mindset. First thing you have to believe you're the fucking man, you can achieve anything. I'm not saying you can achieve anything easily. I'm not saying it's not gonna take a whole bunch of work. I'm not saying it's gonna happen quickly. But you have to believe you can achieve anything. I'll tell you something now. I don't give a fuck if it's being an astronaut. I don't care about climbing Mount Everest. You give me enough time to train, I will get it done. I know that for a fact because I know who I am as a man. You need to be perspicacious. You need to understand that in this world, there's a whole bunch of people doing amazing shit that you are not doing. And that needs to piss you off. Because if it pisses you off, you become motivated all of a sudden. I was the only one who was pissed off when that Aston Martin was next to me and I had my sales job. I was the only one who was pissed off when I saw that Ferrari drive past. Other people were not annoyed by it. And they're not annoyed by it, they're not driven to beat it. You understand? They're not driven to be where that person was. I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. You're a fucking man. You're a full-grown man. It's perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the girl you're fucking, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch, I want a fucking nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. This is the reason I stopped fighting now. People go, why do you stop fighting? Because I fought and I went through hell to get everything I now have. I had nothing when I fought. I had nothing. And I wanted the life I now have. Now I wake up in one of my 3 mansions with one of my 7 supercars and one of my 15 women. What do I need to fight for? Now, people have different motivations for different things. There's some fighters out there who fight for other reasons, you know? But my motivation was I was pissed off at the world. Look around you and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire in your 60s, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. You need to realize you've got a few short years as a young man, you're fucking wasting them. You need to sit there and go, fuck, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're gonna have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. You are never gonna have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. The only person who gives a shit about your life truly is you. And if you don't give a shit, then you're fucked. You have to understand you are out here alone, absolutely alone. And when you understand these 3 things, you start to see how a mindset comes together. Nobody's gonna save you. You're fucked. It's totally down to you. You're pissed off with your current situation and you want to change it. Plus you believe you can do absolutely anything. This is how I thought at 18 years old. This is how I achieved so much in the short years. This is how I went from a nobody to a world level athlete and a multimillionaire. Because at a very young age, when I had my prime resource of energy and power at 18, 19 years old, I understood those 3 tenets. I believe I can do anything. I'm pissed off I don't have the life I want. And nobody else is going to give it to me. These are 3 things you need to understand. If any one of these elements is missing, you'll never have the right mindset. The G mindset will never formulate if any one of these elements is missing. All 3 are absolutely essential. And the sooner you get your act together, the sooner you start to panic and worry and be concerned that you're 24 or 25, you're not fucking rich yet. There's 24 and 25-year-olds out there who are multimillionaires fucking the hot models. These Instagram girls with 3 million followers, they're getting dicked by someone and it ain't you. And that needs to piss you off. You need to get concerned, you get worried, you shit, I'm running out of time. You need to get some urgency in your life. So I became a sayer. So my brother used to say, you've become a sayer. And what that means is I made a pact to him that my word was unbreakable, strength and honor. And that if I said something, I meant it. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say to my brother, I'm doing 1,000 press-ups today. Once I said it, once I spoke it, it's like a genie, it became true. If I said I was going to do 1,000 press-ups, I'd do them. Because if I didn't do them, I'd feel guilty within myself that I was the kind of person who talks shit. Because when you instill these mindsets, when your mindset changes, you start to be extremely accountable for yourself. No one's coming to save you. You become extremely accountable. So when you realize that your word is one of the few things you have on this planet, if you say things, you're going to start sticking to them. So then it becomes very easy to train. You say, I'm going to train every day this week. I'm going to train for 2 hours a day. As soon as you said it, it's basically done. If I say something, it's basically done. It's set in stone. And this is another thing you need to understand with the G mindset. You have to be very, very specific with what you say. Because if you instill your mindset correctly and you start to just say things, just start saying things. Then you hold yourself accountable. Say things you don't even think you want to do. Wake up and go up to your friend or your mom or whoever and say, you know what? I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today. Say it to people. And they're going to say, no, you're not. So watch me. And then you have a choice. You're either going to succeed like a G or you're going to be a little pussy. And you're going to quit at 310 because it's hard. What kind of man are you? That's a decision you need to make. This is another facet of the G mindset. And your word has to be iron, unbreakable. You have to start meaning every word you speak. You say to someone, I'm going to get rich. You better fucking do it. Otherwise, you're a liar. You're a liar and you're a little bitch. If you say, I'm going to put some muscle on, you better fucking do it. You say, I'm going to lift this weight, you better fucking do it. You say, I'm going to go get this girl, you better go get her. You got to be the kind of person who says things and means them. You promise a guy you're going to whoop his ass, you better whoop his ass. 99% of the people out here talk shit. They say things they half mean or things they don't mean. If I say something, I fucking mean it. Once you implement that correctly, then you get the ability to motivate yourself to no end. You get unlimited motivation because all you have to do is find the energy to say it. It's literally that easy. This is the 4th tenet and one of the most important ones because that is the power to unlimited motivation. And that's the power to be taken seriously across all spheres of your life. Be specific with your language. Sound like simple things, but to implement them correctly, truly and correctly in your mind will change your entire view of the world. When you implement these 4 things correctly, when you say, if I say something, I'm going to do it, my word is iron-willed. When you say that nobody is ever coming to save me, ever. When you say that I'm pissed off, I don't have the life I want to have. And you couple that with, I believe I can do anything. If you truly believe all of these 4 things, it's going to change your entire view of this planet. One of my most famous tweets when I said depression wasn't real. I was having arguments with all these people. And everyone's telling me how dangerous my mindset is. What is dangerous about believing that you control your own mind? Because if you implement the 4 things I've just told you, depression becomes garbage. Depression's not a thing anymore. Feeling depressed is real. You can be depressed with your situation, but believing you can fix it yourself is the important key. Sitting there believing that depression is some monster from the sky that strikes your brain and now you have no control over it and you must take pills every day is the absolute enemy to a G mindset. I don't give a fuck how depressing my situation. The only person who can change it is me. The only person who can change how I feel about my situation or try and affect the situation directly is me. Even if you put me in a situation I can't change, if you put me in jail and I'm depressed because I'm in jail, I still refuse to succumb to depression. I refuse to collapse mentally and give up. I know the only person who can control my mind is me. Nobody's coming to save me. No doctor with a pill is coming to save me. Depression isn't real. Depression is a state of mind designed to motivate you to find a life that doesn't depress you any further. That's all it is. Now you have to decide, are you man enough to go and get it done, or are you gonna sit around and cry? And depression in the Western world is the cure-all. It's the cure-all excuse. This is what people are using. My life's shit because I'm depressed. No, you're depressed because your life is shit. It's the other way round, and you're refusing to acknowledge that, and you want to sit there and live a shit life and pretend that some disease has struck you. And the reason you know that's bullshit, anyone out there who's depressed, I'll tell you something, you're not depressed, you're a coward. And the reason you're a coward is as follows. You desperately try to defend this crippling ailment you have because you're desperate to defend your excuse. If depression was really terrible, you wouldn't want to defend it. If depression was really so bad, and I'm telling you it's not real, and I know how to fix you, and if you implement a mindset like mine, you become immune to depression. If depression was so terrible, you'd listen to me and think, I need to try what this guy does. But instead, no, you don't want to do that. You want to call me names and sit and defend this ailment because you know it's garbage. It's your excuse. It's your blanket. It's your shield. It's your excuse you get to pull out every time you look at your failure of a life. And that's why depression is absolutely and utterly not real. Drop that coward bullshit. If you're watching this and you're depressed, drop and give me 200 press-ups. Look in the mirror, look in your eyes and tell yourself you're the fucking man and drop that garbage because you can get absolutely nowhere in your life if you believe in that crap. Depression absolutely isn't real. Implement the 4 things I've told you, the 4 important tenets of a G mindset. Understand nobody's coming to save you, depression isn't real, you'll change your entire worldview once these 4 things are implemented correctly, and then we can move on to everything else.
This internet generation is fucked. I think anybody with a brain understands that, but I don't think most people understand exactly how fucked it is because they live in this digital false reality. They're completely inside the matrix, forgetting that there's a real world out here. The world I grew up in, I was very respectful to everybody I ever spoke to. And the reason I was respectful is because I didn't want to fight. Not because I was scared I would lose. Certainly there'd be some fights harder than others. But also, I just didn't want to have to fight all the time. It's exactly my luck. I'm the kind of guy who gets in an argument with some guy. We end up having to have a fight. I hit him and he dies. That's how he'd get me back. Not because he can't beat me. Of course, nobody can beat me. But he'd get me back by dying. Like, bro, I only hit you once. Wake up. No, he's dead. Murder charge. Fucking hell. All because we argued over some dumb shit. So I try my best not to fight anybody. Because I understand how easy it is to kill someone. It is not hard to catch someone with a good shot and then die. It really isn't. And most people cannot fight at all. So I try my very best to go through life peacefully. I don't want to catch a murder charge. I don't want to have to fight all the time, which is why when I talk to people, I try to be respectful. I understand that if you disrespect people in the real world, there's a chance it becomes violent. But these kids on the internet don't understand that at all. Every time I dip my toe into the cesspit, which is the generation below mine, I realize they're a bunch of disrespectful, arrogant idiots constantly running their mouths on the internet. And none of them have any genuine real world experience of anything. Clowns. I recently did a stream with Aiden Ross, Pudgy Aiden. And he brought on some kid who I had never heard of. Like, I don't know who these people are. I'm the most famous man on the internet. People often say, hey Tate, what do you think of this streamer? You think I watch streamers? You think I don't watch any of the people who make hit pieces on me. I have no idea who these conservatives having a breakdown are. I have no idea who these liberals having a breakdown are. I have no idea who's on Twitch. I don't know these people and I couldn't give less of a fuck. Recently just did a Candace interview. She's like, Liz Wheeler. Who? Now we're talking about Neon. Who are these people? So I did this thing, I'm on with Pudgy Aiden. Neon comes on, starts running his mouth at me. Hey, fuck you, bitch. Hey, fuck you, dude. Dude is like 75 pounds dripping wet. I could pick him up by his neck with one hand. He knows it, I know it, but it's the internet. So he's just running his mouth.
They won't cut yours off. They can't mess with you. You got a SpongeBob t-shirt on and an inhaler. They're scared of you, G. Don't worry about that. You just turn up and you tell them who's boss. You tell them. That's right. You tell them. You say you're a streamer and you play video games all day. You let them know who the man is. You let them know who the man is.
Favorite, tell yourself. Fuck you dumb bitch. Fire and house arrest, you pussy. You fucking loser. You and your dirty ass brother. Fuck him too, dumb bitch. Look at you just sitting there, you bald refugee. Fuck you.
All right, hold on.
I don't know why you're laughing. You fucking
all right. Everyone, calm it down a notch. Listen,
I'm calm. I'm just saying that
No,
he
no,
has
you're
nothing to worry
bro.
about. I'm trying to give you
You're weird.
self-esteem, bro. I'm saying you have
Listen.
nothing to worry about. You're a tough guy. Go over there and tell him
I'll tell
who's
you what,
boss.
look, I got a better deal. On my life, me and Neon versus you in the ring, I swear to God, me and him are knocking you the fuck out.
We will fucking kill you, bro.
Oh my God, this is the biggest waste of my time.
And I grew up in a world where you don't disrespect people you couldn't fight. Even on the internet, I wouldn't do it because I'd feel bad in my heart. I wouldn't disrespect a man on the internet unless I was prepared to see him in real life and beat the shit out of him. If I disrespect you on the internet, if I see you, it's on sight. Fuck you. Old fashioned. Then, it's been about a week has passed, a video has now appeared of him getting bullied. That has nothing to do with me. I guess he just runs his mouth too much to too many people.
Hey, look whose shoes we got. Got his ass lacking. Come on, bro. Got his ass lacking. Hey, what size y'all want?
You see what we did with his shirt?
Look at his shirt. Ripped all type of stuff, boy. You know not to come around here talking like that. Yeah. Hey. Oh, we on his ass. Come on, bro. Take his glasses off. How much they gonna sell for? Come on, bro. YouTube money. We taking all of that. Hey, and we keeping your phone, boy. We taking the video right on your phone.
You a bitch, right? I'm not playing with you,
I'm a bitch.
Yeah, you a fucking bitch. Come on, bro.
So he's gone from the digital world running his mouth like a tough guy to the real world. And you can see the video of what happens when he encounters the realities of the masculine essence outside of the matrix. Because the reality of the masculine experience is you need to be capable of violence. You need to be capable of violence, otherwise people are going to pick on you. It has to be mutually assured destruction. They have to look at you and go, you know what? I might lose. It's not worth the risk. Or there's three of us, there's one of him, but one of us is going to lose. And I don't want to be that guy. They have to have that degree of fear. Otherwise, you just get picked on and bullied. Especially if you've got a big fucking mouth, like Neon. I want this to be a lesson to all the internet kids. Because there's another guy I did a stream with. In fact, it's Aiden, Pudgy Aiden, who introduces me to all of these people. I don't know who any of these people are. I did one with XQC ages ago, and he was going, run his mouth as well. If you can't fight, which none of you can, learn to be respectful to people. Because karma is real, what goes around comes around, and God is not going to allow you to sit and run your mouth and disrespect people forever until someone checks you. That's how the world works. You can call it karma, you can call it God, you can call it live by the sword, die by the sword. There's a whole bunch of different sayings which basically mean the same thing. You need to be able to practice what you preach. You can't have a bark without a bite. So you have two choices. You either go and develop a bite and you get to have a bark, like me, or shut up. Now what happened to Neon, on the internet, does not surprise me at all. Does he deserve it? Probably. But it still made me a bit sad to see, because I don't like bullying. I don't like bullying at all, and I know that someone like him is going to be genuinely traumatically affected by it. And he's going to be bullied for it, not just because of what happened, but they're never going to let him forget it, ever. And I feel bad for the kid. So I'm actually extending an olive branch to Neon. If you want to talk about it, if you want to fly here, if you want to learn to train, if you want me to tell you how to deal with this, if you want me to tell you the best way you can bounce back from this and become the best version of yourself, Top G will help you. The man who you called names, the man who you called a bitch and told me you fucked me up and all this garbage, I will actually help you feel better about the situation because I know that you're probably very afraid right now. And I know that also everyone's mocking you on the internet and you probably don't feel very good about yourself. And the last thing we need you doing is something stupid. And most men, especially men with weak bodies, are a lot weaker mentally than you would believe. Not everybody's like me and Tristan. Not everybody can go to a dungeon solitary and sit there. Most people can't handle the small problems in life. So I'm extending an olive branch to this guy. I don't like bullying. I don't like what they've done to him. But as a professional, I can analyze the situation and understand very much why it happened. And I can understand very much that he brought it upon himself. But being the gracious man that I am, I'm still going to offer him an olive branch and try my very best to make him feel better about it all. There are two kinds of people in the world. People who learn from their own mistakes, which means they have to make a bunch of mistakes in their lives and then try and recover from them. And people who learn from other people's mistakes. They're the smarter ones. People who look at a situation and go, you know what? Isn't it ironic that this Neon ran his mouth about being a tough guy to Top G, and a week later this happened? Isn't that ironic? There's people who are smart enough to sit there and go, God doesn't like it when you talk shit and lie. And learn from other people's mistakes so they don't have to ever go through the same scenario. For everyone at home, I hope you're the second. I hope you're the latter of the two choices, because if you're the first, you're going to end up like him. And I also hope everybody at home understands that the internet is great, but the world is real and people do exist. And you need to be very, very careful who you just.
If I'm not doing something which is either extremely difficult or extremely stressful, I'm in a perpetual state of crippling boredom. I can't explain it. I see other people live their lives and they're like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend because I want to watch this movie. I think, who cares about a movie? You're looking forward to the weekend for a movie? Looking forward to the weekend to get drunk? Like, these things to me are so mundane. They mean nothing. And if I don't fight, if I'm not in a situation where I'm stressed or worried or concerned, I'm just perpetually bored. And boredom's crippling. If you're an intelligent person and you've got a good brain on your shoulders, you can't just sit there bored. Most smart people take the academic route to avoid boredom, and they learn, but that's never really interested me either. Although I've always been an intelligent guy and I've always done well academically, it never really interested me. And then I see people climb Mount Everest or jump off buildings or do base jumping, or the guy who jumped from space. People think, what's he doing? He's crazy. I understand. Because some people can't live normal lives. Some people cannot just function 9 to 5 office job, get drunk at the weekends. That is not for some individuals, and it's not for me. So I have to find something which keeps me physically tired enough to stop me going AWOL, and mentally tired enough. And I've chosen fighting, because without this, when I'm not in training, I wake up every day and think, okay, what am I gonna do today? It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm bored, everyone's at work, I'm bored, and I'll end up doing something crazy. I'll either end up drunk or on the Eurostar, or, you know, it's just a random lifestyle, because I'm constantly looking for never-ending entertainment, and it doesn't exist. I think the only thing that could stop me fighting is if I had enough money to constantly entertain myself. Unless I'm a billionaire, I need something that keeps me focused and keeps me occupied in life. With fighting, I have to train twice a day, and I have to train hard, and the stress it brings in every aspect can replace fun, and my mind is occupied. It occupies me. It's the only way I can try and explain it. It occupies me, and I could never stop doing this even if I lost 100 fights, because I'm not built to live a normal existence. I can't do it. I couldn't just have a kid with some girl and sit at home and work a little bit and relax. I've never relaxed in my entire life. I don't know what relaxing is. It's just not me.